Sunday Jackson, a farmer who defended himself against a violent attack by a Fulani herdsman, has been sentenced to death by hanging. A decision upheld by the Supreme Court after 10 years of legal battles. Jackson, who was attacked with a knife, managed to overpower his assailant, resulting in his attacker's death. Despite claiming self-defense, Jackson was initially sentenced to death in 2021 after 7 years in prison awaiting trial. The case has drawn significant criticism due to the alleged constitutional infractions and the perceived miscarriage of justice. Jackson's legal team argued that the High Court of Yola violated the constitutional mandate of delivering judgments within 90 days of final addresses. In Jackson's case, the judgment was delivered 167 days after final addresses, potentially invalidating the ruling. Furthermore, the defense argued that the trial judge substituted her personal opinion for factual evidence, suggesting that the extended delay contributed to confusion and a flawed verdict. They also argued that Jackson's right to self-defense was unjustly denied. The defense emphasized that Jackson, who was stabbed in the leg during the attack, was momentarily handicapped and should not have been expected to flee. They argued that the trial judge misinterpreted the Constitution, suggesting Jackson should have fled rather than defended himself. Critics argue that Jackson was failed by the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, the Attorney General, the trial judge, the Legal Aid Council, and the Nigerian justice system. They believe that at most a manslaughter charge should have been filed. The Supreme Court's decision has been met with widespread condemnation, with many expressing concern that it undermines the right to self-defense and diminishes the ability of Nigerians to protect themselves from violent attackers. What are your thoughts on this report?
This is very terrible. This is just a reminder to what I just said a few minutes ago. These are the things that should demand the attention of our lawmakers. Questions of justice and injustice.
Right.
Yeah, and not general security of lives and property. Because if we didn't have the situation where the case of Fulani herdsmen in particular is becoming alarming, or has long become alarming, if we didn't have that case, we wouldn't have gotten to where this attack took place. Now, the law, not just in Nigeria, in every sense society, provides for self-defense.
Okay.
And what is self-defense? It gives you a reason or opportunity. It excuses you for the use of force in defense of yourself or another person. That is self-defense. Does not necessarily mean that it must be me. So we are sitting here now. If there's an attack against you, the law of self-defense would excuse me if I use force attempting to defend you. However, the law of self-defense says that you must be sure that there is an imminent and present attack. That is not hypothetical.
Right.
I shouldn't use this to defend myself against you because you get the way water they look me and not like him. I just assume that you are likely to attack. No, there is, and in this case, this was present. There was an attack. Right. The guy was in his farm. Somebody has come to attack him and has even stabbed him. So that law of self-defense would have excused him from whatever the consequences of his retaliation, as it were.
The trial judge did expect him to run away.
How would he have run away? The law of self-defense didn't even say you should run away. It recognizes the fact that you can use force, proportionate force, in defense of yourself. He didn't say run away. There are cases where you're running away spells doom for you. The guy has knife for him. He has been stabbed in his leg. As at that time he has been stabbed in his leg, would he have possibly been able to run? Maybe no. Like the report said, a manslaughter would have been better. What is manslaughter? What is a murder? A murder is when a preconceived intent to kill. You had decided before the act that, okay, I'm going to kill this person. Maybe because of something that happened 2 days ago or 3 days ago. But in this case, which is manslaughter, you didn't have the intention to kill. You were not planning to kill. You didn't leave your house this morning planning to kill anybody. It was maybe an accident.
Right.
It happened. Maybe the case of two fighting. You had no intention of killing, but in the process of fighting, the person dies. So the lawyer can argue that, oh, it's manslaughter, there was no intention to kill ab initio. But in this case, apart from the fact that there was no intention to kill, this was a case of self-defense. And then, as pointed out there, the ruling itself has even gone against the judicial provision of how long it should take from the final address for a ruling to take.
Do you think that nullifies the judgment?
From the law, absolutely, it should have nullified the judgment of the lower court. But the travesty now is that the Supreme Court overlooked that error and upheld this judgment, this ruling. Unfortunately for us, the Supreme Court is the highest and the final court of the law, but it obviously is a miscarriage of justice.
Now,
and it empowers certain sections of the country against other citizens. And where you keep doing this, it does not augur well for a lasting peace in the country, because you keep creating animosity, a feeling of we against them, which shouldn't be in a society. Right.
Now, where does this put us in a case of defending oneself? This judgment, where does it put the common man, as it were, in a place of self-defense?
It has created a dangerous precedent. Now, using the word common man now may not be the conventional use of the common man as economic power, the rich and the ordinary people, which we call the common man. Now, this kind of creates an ethnic distinction, or try to distinguish ethnicity. That is creating a situation where it seems that a particular section of the country will be prized above the other people in the country, because this is a clear case of a section that has been severally accused of being an aggressor against other people. The economic side of it is that these are herders, these are farmers. This crisis has refused to find amicable resolution. Now, the few that have gone to the judiciary, one would have expected, especially in cases like this, that the judiciary would have done justice to it. Justice that is not just done, but must have been seen to have been done. Unfortunately, if we have this kind of scenario again, the victim, the person being attacked, would not be protected by the law of self-defense, even if he tried to. I mean, you cannot tell
me. So should the person just stay down there and be killed? That is why I said, what then is the fate?
I wouldn't want to prescribe anything for anybody. You use your whatever seems good to you. But definitely, it's what the judgment tells you is that the justice system, the law of self-defense, may not be applied in your case, and that's terrible. You see, there is nothing more terrible than being in a situation where you feel that the law is skewed against you, where you feel that the justice system is not justiciable in your case. You know, it's a different thing when you understand that, oh, I am guilty,
right,
and then the law is going to come against me. But it's another thing when you feel like the law will come against me by just for no other reason than the circumstances of my birth, then the law will come against me because of where I belong to in the equation of things, not because of the very acts before the law. The law is not going to look at you dispassionately like, okay, this is what before. Also, the question the law would probably ask is, where are you from?
Right.
That becomes a determining factor, and that's not a very fantastic place for anybody to be. It throws justice off the window. It considers other factors, but the very act of justice